Hey everyone, this is Blenderholic. This is going to be a tutorial. It's going to show you how to use um, texture painting, how to make a really cool scene. You can use it for maps, you can use it for generic ground, for any render that you want. It's going to come out looking really cool. I'm actually going to do a snowy scene. Make the ground look kind of like snow. I'm going to be coughing a lot through this tutorial because I'm sick as hell, so just deal with it. Speaking of which, alright, let's get started. First thing you want to do is you want to open up Blender. Okay. And you want to add a plane. What I like to do is I like to go into camera view and I like to size up the plane and bring it down. Okay? Now the reason why I do it this way is just, because when I scale up the cube, I want to make sure that the two corners leave the scene. So I'm just going to make it right about there. No, right there is good. Okay, go into edit mode, and you want to subdivide it. Now, I subdivide it 20 times. No, not 20. Let's do 14 works. Okay. Now, right mouse button, select anywhere that you want, and just click around. You're going to be doing this because you want to raise the surface up a bit. Just to give it, so it doesn't look flat. You want to do a lot around the edges because if you look in the distance, you never really have a flat horizon. Okay, now turn on proportional editing. Go to sphere, grab, you can use your mouse wheel to scroll it up a bit. Okay, let's grab around, do it again. You can do this wherever you want. It's really just to give it a more feel of an actual ground. Okay, smooth it. There. Now, if I were to render this, you'd get pretty much nothing. So I'm going to add a lamp, I'm going to add a sun, I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to take it out of the actual viewing screen. Now, if you render this, all you get is just, a bumpy ground with the default gray background. Now, I'm going to make this look like it's at nighttime, so I'm going to change the world's color to black. Okay. So now, with this, add a new material. Okay. Turn the specular intensity all the way down. Then you want to go back in here and you want to add a lamp. Make it a point, and you can pretty much put it anywhere, but turn off diffuse. The reason why I'm turning off diffuse is because the texture that I'm going to be putting in here is going to diffuse everything for me. Because if you look at snow, it sort of reflects and radiates on itself. Okay, so now select the plane again, go to materials, add new, leave it as clouds, and what you want to do is go to specular and turn this down to 0.1. Now if I were to render this again, you get the pink swirly look, because that's cloud. Okay. Well, then where's my size? There it is. Turn the size all the way down, turn depth to 6. So that way you get the nice feel right there, and turn off color. Okay, actually, yeah, turn off color. Now, okay. Now if I were to change the color in the material section, say to dark gray. No, didn't work. Where the hell's, how come this isn't working? Hold on. No, that's right. Let's turn back on color. Oh yes, right. You want to turn brightness all the way down and contrast up to 5. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another texture. I'm going to go into edit mode, select all, I'm going to unwrap. I'm going to go into UV editing, bring this up to texture. I'm going to add a new texture, change the size, leave the size at 1024 by 768 if you want. Call it snow, snowy, whatever you want to call it. Hit OK. Okay. Now you want to go down here and you want to go into texture paint. Go over here, enable. Go back to 0, zoom in. Just start, you know, drawing around wherever you want your, you know, your texture to appear on the actual render itself. Okay. Let's see, I'm just gonna do this. You can make it look however you want. Okay, camera's probably over here somewhere. Okay. Now you want to press F3. It's going to automatically call it the name you called it, and I'm going to call it Snowy. Save as. Now go back to default. Go to the second texture. Hit Image or Movie. Open. Go to wherever you saved it, and click on it. And now if you were to render this, here's what you would get. Yeah, it doesn't really look too good, right? There's a reason why. Because what you did, coordinates UV, turn off color, stencil, RBG to intensity. Doesn't really look like it did much of anything. That's okay though. Okay. Add another texture. Now I'm going to go back to Image or Movie. Hit Open. And I took a texture off of Google Images. It's called a Dirty Snow. And I want to change the size of this. Where the hell's size? There it is. I'll make it 5. Turn off color. Normal. Make this 0.3. See the way it came out? You can sort of see around where I painted, texture sort of comes up. Make it bright again. There you go. Now you can see it a little better. This is how you give it an actual texture. Now, to make the specularity from this first texture, because if you remember, you change the specularity right here. What you do in the material section is you change the hardness to a very low level. 2 or 3 works. I'm going to use 5 though for this. Now you really can't see it because I changed the color to white, but if I would have changed the color down to gray, you'll see the little shining things? That's actually the specularity that's coming from the lamp right here. It's only showing the lamp. The specularity from that lamp onto the texture. Okay. Go back to your texture. Let me just make sure everything's correct here. Yep, and yep. Okay. Now, to make this look pretty cool, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here, to the modifiers, and I'm going to do displace. And you want to pick the mask, which is this one, texture 001. Now watch what happens. This is going to look really bad at first. See what happened? Change the strength down, minus .005. And map to UV. Now let's make it a little bit more depressed looking. There. Nice. So basically what it did is it took that texture where it is and it pulled it down. Now I'm going to go back to the material section. And, oops. Put the color back on. Now watch what happens when you render it now. See what it did? It colored it in. This is everywhere where I painted. Now this is very low poly, so I'm going to add another modifier. Make a subdivision surface. Render it again. There. There you have it. Now if you look, it doesn't really look exactly like Snowy. It's more of a sort of like a 3D image with a background that's black. Now what you can do is if you want to make it look more like a sky in the background, you can do it 2 ways. You can either go to the world And you know, you can change the horizon color, you can blend the sky, make it a real sky, and add a texture to the sky with clouds. What I'm going to do for this purpose, though, oops, no, I'm not go to texture paint, let's go to object mode. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the sun. See how it says environment lighting, indirect lighting, ambient, occlusion, mist, stars? Let's go to environment lighting. This is a sun. Nope, sorry. Sun. Sky and atmosphere. Click sky. Now what happens when you render it? There. Much better. So there you have it. I mean, now you can change obviously the color of the actual gray itself on the texture. Materials, you can change this to a little bit of a brighter color. You can make it bluer. Actually, let's make it a light blue. Give it a specularity reflection of, you know, pinkish tone. And there, it's a little bit more realistic. As you can see, this is a very cool effect that's used to make, you know, little worlds, little designs. You can use this as, you know, a gaming map for characters where, you know, they can hop across the top platforms, and if they fall in, you can set, you know, the faces on the inside to where if you touch it, it restarts the game. It's a very, very simple tutorial. I'm sure there's a lot of other ways you can do stuff like this, but this is also a way that you can, you know, let's say you have a character that's walking through the snow. What you can do is you can UV, when you do the texture paint, make the footprints. And then with each footprints, you can do the displacement, but you can also do a shape key with it. Shape key is, you know, over here, inside of this button. A shape key is right here. Now, if in the modifier, you can apply as shape. And watch what happens when I go to displace. See? Because I made the displacement minus 0.005, it's coming up. If I did plus 0.005, it would look like it was going down. So you can use that for footsteps. And you can do it one at a time and apply each one as a shape, so that way when you have the character step down, you would change the value up and insert the shape key each time you did it, and it would actually look like he's stepping in snow if you had it on the surface, obviously. So once again, to re-render the image, this is what it comes out looking like. Very quick, very cool, and you can use pretty much any texture for it. Please comment and rate. I know they sort of just threw this one together. I actually just recently learned this type of mapping this morning, so I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to be playing around with it a lot, and if I come up with anything new or cool to add to it, I will upload a tutorial for that. Please rate and comment this video, because for some reason, no one seems to be doing that. Okay, bye.